today's creative journey started here with a not quite so modern encyclopedia. This is at least 50 years old. I picked this up and with a view to doing something crafty with it, and that's exactly what I did. I was inspired by a tutorial on how to make some tags from old book pages, which I did, and then I started thinking about how I could elevate them to the next level. So these were my prototypes, and then, without giving too much away, these are my finished products. So I'm going to take you on a creative journey as I figured out how to elevate my game and take what was something quite straightforward, a tag with pockets, up to the next level. So please follow along and hopefully be inspired. It's time for a little sacrilege today. I am cutting up a book. Oh, I know, it's terrible. Cutting up books, especially ones as beautiful as this. It's an encyclopedia that dates back to the 1960s. It's even older than me. And as much as it's lovely, you know, we can get all this on the internet these days. We don't need great big books like this cluttering up the house. So I can make art with it instead, and it is going to be absolutely perfect. I mean, look, it's got pages of, you know, just content and pictures of various places, but then it's got all these images which will be perfect for me to cut out as fussy cuts and use in various projects. Look at that snake, isn't that fantastic? It's got that. I used to have that as a poster on my wall when I was a child. There's even a dung beetle there. Look at that, a dung beetle, seal. Anyway, oh, and look at this one, beautiful daffodil. I mean, there's just so much that I can do with this book. None of it will go to waste. Anyway, I started off this morning making some giant tags. I watched a video by Margaret Seven Plaza, and she was making these giant tags. Well, not giant, but old book page tags with pockets. So I made this one, and then I've added a few bits that she hadn't done. Just added some more pockets, and then I started decorating the back with more torn out pages, and then I cut out pictures from the encyclopedia and stuck it on. And then I wanted to make another one that sits inside, so I started making that, and then I had a bit of fun with this. I don't know what that is. Is it an armadillo, a pangolin, something like that? Anyway, I love the way it looked like he's crawling out the pocket. So then that got my imagination going, and I started thinking, actually, we could probably have a bit more fun with this. I like the idea of the fact that the animals and maybe some of the plants are almost escaping from the encyclopedia. So I'm going to cut out lots more and then have a bit of fun with sticking them places. And this lemur, oh look, he could sit on the back of the panda. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make a whole load of these, and while I'm making them, I'll put the camera on and we'll see if we get some good content to share. And I think it's just going to be fun, and that's what, you know, creativity is all about, isn't it? It's about having fun, it's about enjoying yourself, and if at the end you get something that's worth keeping, all the better. But half the time the fun is just in the snipping, the trying, experimenting. It's just, yeah, enjoy yourself. So I am going to show you what I'm going to be working with. I have got, I've already cut out there. So I think all we're going to need for this is a scalpel, some decoupage scissors for cutting all the fussy cuts, some ink, a bone folder, different types of glue, and a paper cutter. The hardest bit is picking which pages to use, to be honest, because so many of them have got really good stuff on. So this one doesn't have an awful lot of interest in terms of what I might want to cut out as a fussy cut. In fact, these two. So let's just take these two out. And then what we'll do is we'll have a look on here and see if there's anything that leaps out as could be some kind of continuation of story. I like this picture here by Greece or Gris or Gris, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Naturally I have a scalpel. I'm going to take this page. There's a picture of a bear on the back, but it's not a very good illustration, so I probably wouldn't bother cutting that one out. I'm going to use that one. And what I might do then is come back and see. Oh, look at that bat. That can be fun. Anyway, I'll leave him in there for now. I'll come back and see what pictures leap out at me as to that will go well on pieces of work that I'm doing. This one's quite good. I'll show you quickly how to make the basic tag. It's very simple. And you might want to trim now. You need to have a look and see which bits you want to keep. So this definitely is the more interesting side. So if we take this one, I'll just move that one out. So you can see on here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that bit in. And you can fold this over, lay that down to reinforce your edge. And the reason I wanted to, I could have just cut that off because this paper is quite thick, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that that was going to be my edge rather than that expanse of white. So then we've got that. Now you might think as well which way round I want it to go, because we're going to lose the top bits of this, but I think I quite like with the colour at the top, and I really love all this blue. So I think this is going to be the size that I'm going to want, and the proportions. That's a lot wider, but I like this like this. Okay, because I want to get a bit of this. There's some kind of impressionist painting on the other side. Cézanne maybe. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll quickly get the old bone folder. Okay, it's going to be our pocket, so we're going to glue this down. There we go. Glue this down, and this one I'm going to use different glue because I want it to be quite thin. You can't really get that with the Pritt Stick. And I also want it to be very secure because that's where your pocket's going to be. And I've got glue all over my fingers. Well done. So far, so I'm showing you exactly what my Greth has demonstrated. So apologies that I'm not going to end up with exactly what she does. So okay, so what we need to do now is we need to cut off matching sides to make the tag shape. So you need to now decide how much of a top bit you want, how slanty you want it. So I don't want to lose too much of this, so I've got that there. Okay, now to make sure that you get it accurate so that it matches, you just take that over there. Okay, and if you're using a cutter like this, you can follow what I'm doing. If not, you can just draw a line and then cut that line. So I'm just going to match it up there, take that away, pop it down. Okay, and I'm going to keep these because I might well use them again, or I might not, who knows. Okay, so there we've got. What I want to do now is make it look different. So I'm going to give it a spray. I've got this Distress Oxide Spray by Tim Holtz, Ranger. It is called Salvaged Patina. patina, however you wish to put. And I think this could be really interesting just to tie things together a bit. There. I think I put way too much ink on here, so I'm just going to dab some of it off. In fact, so we don't waste it, what I might do is just grab some other paper I shall be using in another project and put it on there. And now I'd like to carry on with the Impressionist art, and I want to bring some yellow in. Harvest Moon Distress Mica Stain. Give it a, oh yes, look at that. Again, let's not waste any of that lovely. That's okay. And then we'll put some on the back. Most of that went on my hand. Goldfinger. Lovely. There we have a lovely sheen to this. Now this feels to me quite French, and in fact I have discovered that this is a painting here, View of Grenoble by Jonquin, I don't know how you pronounce his name. And then this is The Bridge by Asger John. Anyway, it feels French to me. And then we've got the flag of Jordan, which doesn't feel very French. So this is the spot, I think, where we're going to go for a fussy cut. So there's a chameleon. So, you know, obviously chameleons change colour, which could be worth exploring, that idea. There's a beautiful Marc Chagall painting here. I do like his work. And there is Paul Cézanne. So perhaps we'll get Paul. State my finger. We could cut Paul out and pop him on there. So the whole thing feels very French. I remember seeing some of Cézanne's work in the National Gallery in London and getting up close to it and seeing the individual brush strokes and the bit where the paint hadn't hit canvas, and I just, it was amazing. I can't, just knowing that you would almost inside his mind there, you were there with him as he painted it. It just was so exciting to be right there next to the work of such an incredible artist. Okay, so if we pop him there, he's cutting off too much of that, I think. But it could go on the back. I quite like him there. Yes. So we'll put him to one side, keep him safe, and he may go on the back. So now let's try the chameleon. It's not remotely French, although they may have chameleons in France. Who knows? I'm not entirely sure. But it's yellow. So we're moving away from France to yellow. It just needs to be something other than, you know, that's just too sharp. The shapes of the flag don't match, to me, the organicness of the rest of the page. So I just want something that's going to be an organic feeling about it. You know, the more I've tried to find something to cover up the flag, the more it seems determined to stay. The chameleon just didn't look right. Then I had a fish, but he didn't quite fit unless he went that way, but then that looked daft. I found this this canary with a bowl head haircut. He didn't quite look right. And so then I sprayed some more ink over the top. And there's something about that red ink that is just dispelling everything around it. So do you know what? It wants to stay, so it can stay. We will have a bright red triangle. Yes, he's frowning. He's not very happy with me. Yes, he said that I shouldn't be cutting up encyclopedias. As he's so annoyed with me, I might give him a fish flying over his head to give him something to really complain about. This is becoming a little less impressionistic and a little bit more surreal, but that's okay. What this project is about is having fun. Pulls in, and now he's got the fish. He's about to fly over the top of his head. So that will do for now, and then we shall get another page to make a tag that's going to sit inside. This one has some abstract art on, so I'm going to use this. So I want this one to be smaller. I'll get rid of this edge. There. And we'll do the same approach as we did with the last one. So this time we're going to have most of that on the back. I want to keep that pretty much intact. This one is decidedly bland, but doesn't matter. We are going to do some interesting things. Off camera, I cut out that fish, and look, there's the thing that's going to cover up the fleck. And then I found another fish. Now, what's interesting about this piece is that when I started, I had a vague idea that I wanted to pursue this colour scheme and the idea of perhaps this slightly impressionistic painting. At that point, I definitely did not think that I would be putting fish anywhere on this piece. But here they are, swimming along quite happily. So I shall glue those down momentarily. And then for this piece, so I actually thought, you know what I'm going to have on here? I'm just going to have some text. I'm going to cut this off. And then what I'll do is I shall get out my trusty distress inks. There you go, faded denim, or faded jeans. Distress that edge. That's going to go either there to create a stripe or over the edge, and then probably that strip there. So I'm just going to layer. That up. I've glued my fishies on. There we go. There's my fishes. There's a minnow and a perch perched on the tag. And I have also glued all this down now as well. And I'm thinking that Mr. Chameleon can go on here. I'd quite like him climbing up here like this. And I have to decide. Well, I've got a pocket here, so I could have him loose, stick this bit, obviously, this bit then lifts up, so he's crawling across there like that, which looks quite nice. Or I could cut away all of this stick and then have him as if he is gripping onto the side of the piece of paper. And given that my theme for this is almost like the animals escaping from the encyclopedia, I think that we'll do that. So I'm going to cut him out. I'm going to cut off these corners again. Don't want it to be too big, so that will. Make sure you do this the right way around. There we go. Measure twice, cut once. There. So there's our tag. So let's cut out Mr. Chameleon. In fact, what I'll do first is I want this to be a matching set. So I'm going to spray with my inks once again. And this time I'll put down my paper that I want to capture any excess on in the first place. And although the the rear does look lovely. It does need to blend in with the rest of it, so just a little bit on here, I think. There. So here's the little fella. Got a couple of leaves to help him blend in a little bit more. There's a touch of yellow in there, and of course he's going to blend in very nicely against all this golden yellow background. So we'll stick him on now, and I am going to have to sacrifice part of the pocket because I want to stick him down. So I'm going to bring him over as far as possible this way, and then there'll still be a little bit of pocket over here. He's suitably sticky and he's ready to fix himself. Now the most important bit is this front leg, which I want to be there, and then we can tuck that back leg, can go behind there, very fiddly, and then that one can be gripping on there, and then that one can be hanging down, and the tail can be hanging down. There he is, he's settled in place. And then the back has our abstract piece on. I think it needs a cheeky little animal on there as well to continue the theme. So this can now slot into there. Quite like that, where that matches in some simple way. I've got a couple of options for the back. This adder, so the colour blends, well, matches perfect with the picture above, which I rather love. And then I've also got this funny canary with his silly haircut, and he's a little bit more subtle. You almost have to look to see him, which I kind of like, especially as on the other side we have the chameleon. So as much as I love that one, I'm going to save that for another day. There we go. Pop him in. He's got a beetle's haircut, I think. Right, so we've done two, and our third one, we're going to carry on the theme of the colour. I think that we might, because it's going to be so small, it doesn't really matter what we have, because we'll just put some colour on top. So we'll use this. Do we want the bear visible? You're not going to see him, are you? No. We'll manage without the bear. Okay, so let's take this and we'll measure. We want it to be smaller, but we still want there to be a pocket. And I'll just trim that bit off. It'll be a tiny little pocket, and I don't want it to be anywhere near as long, so let's cut off the bear's going to be very grisly when he finds out he's trapped inside. Oh no. Okay, so I think let's have a look. So we've got fish, we've got chameleons, we've got birds, and we have various art stuff. So let's find something arty, I think, to go on here. Well, this lady looks rather imperious. I like these bathing women. Mr. and Mrs. Andrews. They could sit on the back, couldn't they? With the other half of their scene coming over. Or do we want something a bit more impressionistic? There's a doofy there. Oh, I think we'll get some of this Ral Doofy. Should I have that on camera? There we go. Can you see that? Ral Doofy? On the whole, I've kept very clean lines, so I was a little tempted to just tear this, but I think I'll slice it. I'll just get a random slice, although I'd quite like to get that horse's head in it. Let's maybe glue and fold over. Yeah. Where's it gone? There it is. Okay. So we're going to do that. Okay, there we go. So we're going to glue this down here. See, this is what creativity is all about. It's just constantly trying different things on for size. And then I'm going to glue that bit down there, so that sticks to that, and then do the sides. Okay, there. Not too much. I'm going to come quite far away and promptly miss. That's where I really want it, on the back. I think maybe just a bit on the corner. Not there. Perhaps down there a bit as well. Oh, a little bolder, but never mind. I quite like it. And we need a little critter. I'll cut out. This is a tana, which is a tree shrew from Borneo. So there we have our little tana. There he is. And let's just add a bit more ink around the edges, I think. There we go. It's a long-eared owl. I'm going to have him peeking out like that. That's funny. I like it. I'm going to use my crocodile to create some holes. Just when you're doing this, be careful that you don't go through anything that you didn't want to go through. So yes, I will be very careful not to chop up my little tana. I debated whether to use eyelets, but actually I think I'll just use reinforcements and in this brown, which goes quite well with all of them, and I'll just grunge them up a bit. So I've sprayed a little bit of ink on each of these, not necessarily everywhere. Oh, of course, I'm going to need 6, aren't I? Because there's two sides to every story, although I'm not sure if I've got space for one on the back. Or just about. The tana. I might not bother on the back of that one. While I'm waiting for the ink to dry, I'm just coming in with a little bit more distress ink around the corners where I think it needs a little bit of emphasis. So this back page here is very white in places. I want it to feel a little old. Now we'll have a look at this one and see what we think this needs. See, this feels very stark. So I'll just come in a bit on the corners. Just gives it a bit more depth. It's always tricky knowing when to finish, but at the same token, I like it to feel like it's got a real depth, and this one in particular does not feel like it's got a great deal of depth, so let's come in a bit more on this one, focusing on the corners. There's a slight gloss to this paper, which means if you make a mistake you can lift it off quite quickly and easily. So I'm going in now a little bit more over the oxides. I thought this was going to be a quick project, but it's not, but that's okay because I'm enjoying it. Now, because I'm not going to put a reinforcement there. What I might do is see if I can pick up a bit of distress ink on this paintbrush, and then we can just, yeah, there we go, we can just emphasize that a bit. Just keep gently. At this stage, I feel it just needs something more cohesive, particularly something to go over the top of these fussy cuts, but I don't want to risk putting any more of that those inks, those spray inks on, so I'm going in for something a little bit more subtle. I'm going to get some of this Inktense and just splatter. It has quite a strong colour, so it shouldn't fade too much when it dries. Just another layer. All finished. We have our set of 3. Tuck in like so. So we've got our cute little owl peeking out, the Ral Doofy, and the Tana on the back. We have our chameleon on this one. It has a very small pocket, but and we have the beetle haircut. And then finally we have something fishy going on here. There's Cezanne giving us his verdict. Oh, you not impressed, no. What have you done to the beautiful encyclopedia? Zut alors. All finished. Anyway, that was a bit of fun. Completely made from an old encyclopedia, with the addition of these lovely fibre ribbons afterwards. Please come back and join me for another video soon. I'm not sure what I'm going to make yet, but that's half the fun. See you soon.